Welcome back to Newstalk Television. I'm Denise Richardson. Also with us is our information specialist, Todd Townsend. Last month, human rights activist Harry Wu returned home to the United States after a 66-day ordeal in China, in which he was convicted of spying charges. He was sentenced to a 15-year prison term and then expelled. Harry Wu, who spent 19 years in a Chinese prison camp, has devoted his life to exposing the Chinese practice of using forced prison labor to manufacture exported goods as well as other human rights atrocities. I'm very pleased to say that Harry Wu has consented to join us on video call from Washington, D.C. Mr. Wu, I want you to take us back to June. What were you doing in China, and why did the Chinese authorities arrest you in the first place?
This time, they just stopped me at the border. There's no any reason, because I have legal passport and also valid Chinese visa. They charged me because in 1991 and 1994, I was stripped back to China twice, and the charge is stealing the state secret offered to two major TV companies, it means CBS and BBC, and also testify in the American Congress. I'd like to show you what is the evidence they present in my trial. Okay,
you have photographs with you?
Yes.
Hold that up a little more for us. Okay.
So this is a watchtower from number 1 prison in Zhejiang province. Under this watchtower, 2,500 prisoners making the chain hoist export to all of the world, including the United States. This is the evidence in my trial.
Now, what they export, what to the United States?
Chain hoist.
Chain hoists?
Yes. This is another evidence. CBS 60 Minutes, Ed Bradley and my wife, we went over there. This is the place I was jailed 4.5 years, almost starved to death. In 4 months, I cannot stand on my own feet because no food.
Mr. Wu, let's help people understand that, because you were in jail. When you lived there, you were in jail for 19 years. Why were you originally arrested those 19 years? What year, in fact, was it that you were first arrested?
In 1957, I was a college student. I was invited to express my mind. So I disagreed with the Soviet invasion in Hungary. I criticized Chinese communists, treat the people, common people like second-class citizens. And this is my violation. This is my crime.
You were opposed to their treatment in Hungary, and they turned around after you were invited to express your opinion, and they arrested you?
Yeah, they say there's 100-flower bloom, but later they say you are not the flowers, you are the weeds, the poisonous weeds. So they label me as a counter-revolutionary rightist, and then later put me in the jail, sentenced to life.
Sentenced to life. Tell us about what jails are like there.
The jail, same as the Gulag in Soviet Union. Serve as a machine, crushing the people. If these people peacefully express their mind, disagree with communism, if they want to practice their religions, and this is not allowed in China.
But what about day-to-day life? What about something like the food? You say you almost starved to death. What about the sleeping facilities? What about the toilet facilities? What's it like day-to-day?
There's no toilet system, please. There's no bathroom. The living condition is crowded. We say just like a sardine in the can. Everybody have 2 feet wide in the so-called count in China. The food is always using to force your labor. The police always told you, good food, good labor. No labor, no food. Less labor, less food.
What about physical abuse, emotional abuse?
If you cannot complete the labor quota, they will put in your solitary confinement. And if they can hand you up and beat you, torture you. Because you only can throw the hard labor and then reformed and the so-called brainwashing become a so-called new socialist person. We do remember Hitler had a slogan for the concentration camp. Labor make freedom. Chinese have the same kind slogan. Labor make new life.
You say that you've been fighting to expose the conditions in prisons because what they're doing is using the labor there for products they export here to the United States?
Yes, in 1991, CBS 60 Minutes have a documentary focused on so-called made in China. Many products, they come from Chinese prison camps. For example, Chinese government documents say 30%, 33% of the tea output is come from prison camps. And you have to know China is the biggest tea producer in the world. A lot of #1 manufacturing actually is a prison camp. All these prison camps in China have two different names. One so-called labor reform detachment or prison. The other name is a factory name, coal mine name, a farm name. And it's true. It is a production unit.
What don't Americans understand about the Chinese? Because as you tell us these stories, I would say to you, is it that they have no respect for human life? We know that they don't value women there, but based on what you're saying, they don't seem to value people much.
They're looking at the people just like a working force or slavery force. Make money, make wealthy, and they educated them every day. Communism is the heaven. Your God is Mao Zedong. That's the old education. And if you're against it, if you disagree with it, and you become so-called capitalism, so-called bourgeois class, and then you were dismissed in the forced labor camp.
When I was reading your article, you talked about people who in jails, in prisons, who are stripped, who are told to strip naked, who are told to get into vats of toxic chemicals, I think, to deal with sheepskins. I mean, it's that extreme.
This was happening in 1991. We was getting one of the large prison camp located in Qinghai. We posed as a businessman and invited by the police manager because they want me sign a contract with them to buy these lambskin. And then we have a hidden camera filming these things, how these people lock in over there and stand in a chemical vat to make the product quality good for enough to export.
When you left, I think it was 1990 you actually left China? When you were freed after the 19 years? Why did they free you? You were in jail for life.
Later they changed my sentence to 3 years, and after they extended the 3 years, finally in 1979, they gave me a kind of so-called correction, because, you know, we are the old counter-revolutionaries. They face a new situation. Do remember, I was free in February 1979. The next month, March 79, they arrested new counter-revolution. The name is very well known in the United States, Wei Jing-sun. He served another 15 years. And he's today, we don't know where she is. Chinese re-arrested.
So people can be picked up off of the street. People, you say, are even picked up off of the street. One fellow was looking for a job. He thought he was applying for a job, and that was the last people saw of him. 30 years later, he's in prison.
Oh, well, even like this time, I have a legal passport and a valid visa. As an American citizen, they can, under no reason, to secretly arrest me. They did it.
How did they get you? It was a computer, as I understand it? They were computerized at the border?
They used the computer to find out me. And I was escorted by a number of secret police, and all of them have a mobile phone made by Motorola.
And how did they treat you this time around when you were in prison?
Physically, they treat me much better than before, because I'm very special, well, whatever, special prisoners or special guests. I was placed in the lakeside villa, very nice condition, and I'm the only guest over there, escorted by about 50 secret police.
50 secret police?
Oh, yes.
That's amazing. Mr. Wu, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to ask him whether the United States should be doing business with China, one, and would he go back? He's fighting for the civil rights of people in those prisons. So stay with us and find out. And folks, give us a call, and you can talk to Harry Wu, 1-800-618-2900. Fax us at 1-800-450-0019, but stay with us.
online computer services provided through the Lexus Nexus Express services. For information, call Nexus Express.
Do you think choosing life insurance is puzzling? Do you think it's difficult to find one with all the pieces that fit your needs? Think again.
If you're between the ages of 50 and 79, listen closely. By calling this toll-free number, you can receive information about steady-term $1-a-week term life insurance. That's right, just $1 a week. Take a look at this. With Steady Term, there's no waiting period. You're covered from the first day. Your benefits never go down over the life of the plan. Pays for all causes of death, including accident. There's no medical exam. Answers to health questions determine your approval. Anyone age 50 to 79 can apply. Plus, Steady Term is affordable, just $1 a week. Choosing life insurance can be difficult, but it's easy to see that Steady Term has the right pieces for you and your family.
Call 1-800-652-2323 for information on this valuable $1 a week offer from Providian. Call now.
Hear about the issues and concerns of teens in America. Join us for Newstalk Television's Teen Segments, weekdays, only on Newstalk Television.
Do you love the mouth-watering taste of perfectly cooked, delicious bacon, but hate that unhealthy fat and grease? Yuck! Introducing Bacon Wave, the amazing patented breakthrough. Cooks perfect bacon in any microwave in just minutes. Bacon Wave makes the leanest, tastiest bacon faster and easier than any other method. Simply place bacon in the slots, skewer each slice, and place it in the microwave. It's that easy. And Bacon Wave is stackable. Cooks up to 28 pieces. Fat and grease drip into the lower pan away from the bacon. Less fat, less cholesterol, fewer calories. Just the world's best bacon. From juicy to crisp, perfect for breakfast, a BLT lunch, or a great salad. Bacon Wave stays cool to the touch, yet bacon is crisp and hot. No splatter, no burns. And it's dishwasher safe for fast, easy cleanup. Order Bacon Wave for just $19.95. Now you can bring home the bacon. Order today.
To order Bacon Wave, have your credit card ready and call toll-free 1-800-767-4500. Or send check or money order for $19.95 plus $4.50 shipping to Bacon Wave, Department N, 507 Maple Leaf Drive, Nashville, Tennessee.
My guest is human rights activist Harry Wu, whose recent 66-day detention in China caused an international outcry for his release. Mr. Wu, who spent 19 years in a Chinese prison camp, has devoted his life to exposing the Chinese practice of using forced prison labor to manufacture exported goods as well as other human rights atrocities. What do you think about the relationship between China and the United States? Do you think that we should not be involved with China? How should we relate, especially as you present the human rights conditions to us?
China only can be changed by Chinese, there's no doubt about it. But United States and other countries like Japan, French, Britain can play a very important role in Chinese changing.
What can the U.S. do?
Yes. I think, for example, Mr. Clinton was in Beijing, frankly, directly, publicly denounced the human rights abuses in China. Delivered a very good message to the world, also to the Chinese Communist leader. I hope President Clinton continuing voicing, denounce Chinese human rights abuses. I know that next month, President Zhang, the Communist leader, is come to the United States. I hope the human rights abuses become the top agenda.
But do the people in China, do you think that they heard Mrs. Clinton speak for them and speak up for them about those human rights abuses, about the way they treat their young women? I mean, they kill baby girls. They don't care. They throw them away like garbage.
Well, the door just opened a little bit because today there's BBC, NHK, Voice of America, whatever. Chinese government try to jam them, but many people throw these foreign broadcasts, they hear about it, but the majority didn't hear about it.
Majority didn't hear. Joe from Connecticut. Joe's on the phone from Connecticut. Thank you for your call. What's your question or comment, Joe?
Yes, thank you. First of all, Mr. Wu, it's an honor to be able to speak with you. You truly are doing something that's heroic and art.
Joe, I'm going to ask you to slow down for Mr. Wu.
Okay, I'm sorry. I was just going to say, first of all, it's an honor to be able to speak to you, Mr. Wu. What you're doing truly is heroic, and I think everybody should be saluting you for that. My question is this: what can individual Americans do concerning this issue when it's obvious that the policies are being driven by big business and the politicians who are doing what big business is telling them to do regarding China. And also, when you look in the stores, you see the stores are flooded with things from China. And what, under those circumstances, what can individual Americans really do regarding this situation? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you.
Mr. Wu?
Yes. First of all, I think everybody have to tell the Chinese communists there's no free lunch. You enjoy the benefit, you have to do something. Second, if you enjoy the artificial flower in your dining room, in your living room, and if you find out the artificial flower is making by the political prisoners in China, I don't think the American people want to take it.
So you shouldn't buy it. You're saying there are certain, once you see something is made...
Say no to Chinese government. No forced labor product export to United States. Say no, there's no people can be locked up in your prison camp because they peacefully express their mind.
What products shouldn't we be buying? Chinese flowers, those artificial flowers, what else?
So far until today, the American Customs Service did a good job. They issued 25 detention orders against Chinese illegal products. Something like artificial flower, tea, steel pipe, machine engine, diesel engine, machine tools, hand tools. You can call Customs Service what kind of products they found it.
All right, let's go. Mr. Wu, I'm taking another call. Doris from Ohio. Hi there, Doris. What's your question or comment?
Hi, it's nice talking to you. I wanted to ask Mr. Wu, how, when you first started to learn about that, how did you learn about it? Did you, I guess what I'm trying to say, did you know about it while you was there, or was it after you left? And I wanted to say that I'm real happy that you're in the United States, and we welcome you here, and we love you, and it surely was the hand of the Lord who has helped you, and we will be praying for you all the time, and we won't forget you in prayer every day.
Doris, thanks
and I want to say God bless you.
Thank you very much. I feel grateful. I'll be frank with you. And last January, I naturalized as an American citizen. It's not meaning too much for me. I just want to have a kind of protection, a kind of insurance. But through the 66 days in China, I want to say, thank you, America. Thank you, American government. Thank you, American people. I'm really honored to become American citizen.
Do you think...
Because Americans really care about me.
They really do. Do you think that you would go back to China because the things that you're fighting for haven't gone away?
The law guys still exist in China. And this is the place I born, and this is the place I want to bury myself. And many, many millions Chinese today still in the law guys. I cannot turn my back to them.
You're telling me that you would go back?
If there's a chance, I do.
Mr. Wu, I have a lot of respect for you. Did you think that you would get out in those 66 days? Did you think that your fate was sealed?
It is that. It is true. In the beginning 20 days, under the secret situation, very clear, they cited me by the death penalty.
I want to thank you very much for being with us, and I'm glad you're back in the United States safe and sound. For those affiliates who have to leave us now, certainly thank you for being with us. For the rest of our viewers coming up, how do you feel about your children listening to music which contains violent or sexually explicit lyrics? We're going to talk about that next. RAP 1-800-618-2900. Stay with us. Let me thank Harry Wu again for being with us. Internet services are provided by I-2000. It's New York's largest internet provider of